when you make your own barrels, right? Like QA, QC, and also like cost. Think about that. Every gun you buy and they purchase barrels from somebody else, that's an entire margin layer that you're all.
We cannot have this guy on our channel. He looks too good.
We've had good-looking people on our channel before.
Yeah, but not like this. This is something different.
The perfect tattoos in all the right places.
His arms are huge.
Not to mention that 5 o'clock shadow.
It's perfect, perfectly manicured, beautiful white teeth.
Dude, he didn't miss a shot all 3 days of shooting. Not one.
Perfectly sculpted. He's 6'7".
220 pounds of raw muscle.
Some barbarian breed.
Dude, he makes us look tiny. Not to mention, that dope card on his forearm, it's about to pop off his arm.
I'll never know what that feels like.
Even the stuff like his sunglasses. It's just in style.
And his name is Mac Johnson.
Obviously.
Okay, it's a good thing we have our wives locked down, because if we didn't, this would be a major problem.
Well, on the flip side, I did hear him mention that he's married and has kids. He's a good family man and he loves his children. So, we may be in the clear.
Okay, yeah. Oh, thank God. Yeah, we're good. All right, yeah, we can do it.
Cool, guys, so we're out here at Twisted Barrel doing a loopholed event where a bunch of guys came out and we get to shoot a bunch of guns. And we noticed this gun that Mick has.
Mac.
Okay, you're
I've
starting
been
that
saying
over.
Mick the entire time.
I didn't hear it. I just assumed you were talking to somebody else.
Dude, I turned.
Mac has this strange gun with curved mags that look like AK mags. And he's got a whole ton of stuff hanging off of this rifle. And of course, we have to ask, what is this thing? And can you kind of go through the details of this rifle?
Yeah, man. So I'm Mac. I run military sales for Noveske Rifle Works. This platform is one we've been working on for a while. Noveske was actually the lead gun manufacturer for the initial 6-ARC program. It happened with the military unit, Proof Research, and Hornady to actually optimize a weapon platform that would serve the use of the 6-ARC caliber. So the 6-ARC itself, basically it's a 6.5 Grindle, neck down to take a 6mm bullet. Use the same 6.5 Grindle mags. Probably recognize these ugly things. They're curved like that because of the case of the round. Forces you to, you have to do that because the way they stack, they won't stack linearly. So
Gotcha.
you got that goofy curve in there. The rifle itself, so this is Noveske's Gen 4 variant of the N4, which is their small frame line of billet rifles. Rifling, we've got proprietary button rifling, of course. Noveske does all their own rifling. It's a barrel company at the end of the day. So we've got that. And this system is basically optimized for intermediate range engagements on a small frame, right? It's as much power as we can pack into a small frame system. Really good, pretty easy trajectory arc. The ballistic coefficient of the bullet, right now we're using 106 grain tap from Hornady. It's got a really efficient flight pattern, so it's not being pushed around by wind nearly as bad as a 5.56, so we can reach out and get some of those good contacts at extended ranges. That's why we have that. This gun specifically, as far as the attachments that are on it, we built this gun. Like I said, I run military sales. Okay, so with that, you can assume that's sort of my thought process is, what are guys using right now? What are those setups, those capabilities that are required? And I get that all the time about guns, like, hey, that thing's just loaded, it looks super heavy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. If you're on a mission, you don't know what you're gonna run into. It'd be nice to be able to say, yep, I'm 100% gonna be dropped off at the door of the house I'm assaulting and nothing bad's gonna happen on the way or on the way back, right? It almost never happens that way. So you gotta be able to have that extended capability. It's better to have it on the gun, train with it all the time, and then you can best utilize it to meet whatever the threat is at whatever distance, right? You wanna optimize the system to an unknown variable, right? So what I put on here, we've got the Leopold Mark V 2-10, which is my program selection for this system. It's perfect. I think there's a little, I kind of have a logic issue with LPVOs, a 1x, because I already have a secondary dot, right? Which could be my 1x.
Yeah.
With this, I've got a 2-10. Doing a 2-10 versus a 1-10, 2-10 is going to give you a much bigger eye box to work with, which is very important for an optic like this. You want to be able to snap that gun up there in all those weird positions and still be able to see the target and reference your reticle and use it. In front of that is one of my favorite new pieces of kit. Is an Alpha TARAC 4.0 from TACOM HQ. And this is basically a second zero prism. It's a prism that offsets my target picture so that I can gauge maximum point blank range, right, without having to make some crazy hold adjustment at extended ranges out to longer distances. So with this one, I have it set up. Right now I'm at a 100 meter zero. I can engage a 300 meter target with my regular hold, just holding right over the head of the target. When I switch to a 400 meter target, I can say, okay, rather than having to math that out, I can flip this Alpha TARAC over the prism in line. It bumps up my target image. I then have to compensate by pulling the gun up. And now I can aim center on the target and get those engagements. And then it kind of starts my zero over at those extended ranges, right?
Gotcha.
Now out in front of that, I got a thermal clip-on. These are very important. Right now, they're coming into use with a lot of special operations units. And reason being, we can't rely on NIR lasers and illuminators as much anymore because bad guys have night vision too. And any of those electromagnetic outputs that we put into the world can be either seen or sensed by some kind of a sensor, and they could possibly engage us for that. So in an effort to try and use more passive systems, like the prism, passive, doesn't emit any energy, this allows us to identify targets easily, warm bodies at least, and then we can either engage them ourselves or walk our mates onto an engagement successfully with that. So getting a lot of good use out of this, keeps people out of a bad spot, especially in low light or no light situations, like if you're in a tunnel or something like that. Right, there's no ambient light. If you can't use your NIR, well, this is a great way to, without giving away your position, identify threats. Forward to that, I got a MAL DA. I really love these things. Really good for ergonomics. It keeps a little bit of that space clear for the optic. My thumb's not pushing out in front of the optic, trying to operate it, anything like that. So I really enjoy the ergonomics of the system, and obviously the lasers, they're pretty rad. You can see it out of everybody who has laser illuminators. You can always spot them all. Yeah. Outside of that, the suppressors from CGS. This is part of the program for the gun, so I'm not going to go into the exact specs for the suppressor. Yeah, overall this is it. 6-arc Gen 4 N4 from Noveske Rifle Works, and yeah, I'd say it's been doing pretty well for me, so we'll have you guys shoot it next and
let's do it.
see
Yeah.
how you guys do.
I'm terrible at shooting at distance, and that made it easy.
Oh yeah.
Like, just the holds, like I'm not having to significantly lead a moving target at distance. It's just traveling faster than.
Yeah, I always say math is really hard.
Yeah.
Math is really, really, really hard when you're being shot at. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
let's try and take as much of the arithmetic out of the equation as possible. Yep. Find the targets, engage the targets, move on.
Right.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, let's go shoot this thing and see what we can do.
Heck yeah.
Cool. So before we carry on with this video, we have to thank the sponsor, Shooting Surplus. Guys, if you're looking for some of the gear, whether it's training tools or ammo or parts for your tools, go check them out. We do have in the description of this video a discount code as well as an email chain that you can sign up to where you can find out about sales and some of the other stuff that we are coming out with in the future. A lot of good stuff in the works. Additionally, if you want to sponsor us in your own way, Patreon, it can be $5 a month or whatever it is that you choose to support us with. But inside of that, we do everything that we can to give back and give you guys information before it comes out ahead of time. And sometimes even Patreon members can influence some of the content that we have en route. So also thank you very much to Loophole for bringing this out on this trip. This has been awesome. And then also Twisted Barrel for hosting. All right, let's get back to the video.
All right, go to the 300.
Oh.
Or the 400, I'm sorry.
Get out of here, dude. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not supposed to be good at this. This makes it easy. Imagine if I was actually good at this. How, oh my gosh. Okay, Josh, get behind this. That's sick.
And so if you do that 20-inch engagement, what you would do is just mill shoulder to shoulder. Impact. And if it was smaller than 1.2 mils, you would know to do the opposite. And that's how you would judge it. You'll favor a smidge right. There we go.
Nice, dude.
Smidge does time.
Oh, that's me.
Oh yeah, just left. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
It's the one beyond that.
No, that's it.
Oh, that's the one beyond.
Well, I held it.
6.
I held it 1.5.
Yeah, that's it. You got
The
it.
one behind the tree 6.
Yeah, the Punisher's. Yeah.
Okay.
The Punisher's 2 weeks in front of ours now.
You can't really, the 5 berm, you can't see the 5 in.
No.
The sign's kind of sideways, so. Gotcha.
The things that we always commit, like this, you guys do a lot of pistol work, right? Like that's stuff you want to commit to muscle memory, and only because you need it to be something you don't have to think about, because you have to think about the situation as it changes and how you're going to adapt to it. Same thing goes with precision rifle, long range, intermediate, or whatever. You're going to try and figure out as many of those values ahead of time so that you don't have to think about it when you need to think about it, right? When the situation is present, you need to be able to react to it, and it's not always going to be this, you know, long arithmetic in your head to land the target. You need to have that dialed in already, and then that way you can adapt to the situation and meet it at 500 without having to do anything ridiculous.
That's outrageous. So where can someone get one of these?
Noveske, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, their barrels are, when you make your own barrels, right, like QA/QC, and also like cost. Think about that. Every gun you buy and they purchase barrels from somebody else, that's an entire margin layer that you're also paying for. So think about how much that cheapens the overall system, right? That's the heart of the gun. So you get that, build something good around it, you're gonna have a gun for life. Like that's how you want to do it.
That's wild.
Yeah, the 6-arc's a really good one. That's the way I think we're really trying to optimize the small frame up until whatever the next shift is. So.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. Absolutely.
Dude, this thing is sick.
Always a good day on the range.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Some of that kit's good in there.
Which one are you shooting at?
Big play. I just.
Are you at 300?
No, I'm at 5.
You're at 5? It's a 1.5 hold
Yeah.
at 5. Oh, it's 5. It's 1.5.
There we go.
There it is.